Do you wonder where your week goes? Does your to-do list never get ticked off? Is time your biggest challenge and your greatest frustration? In this show, I'm going to share with you how you can gain 25 extra working days a year.
It's time to love your business with Love Your Business TV. Here's your host, Adrian Peck.
Hello and welcome to Love Your Business TV. And like the lovely lady said, I am Adrian Peck. I am the owner and founder of Better Never Stops. We deliver business advice and coaching programs to entrepreneurs and business owners like you who run or want to run £1 million plus turnover companies. I am also the author of How to Fall Back in Love with Your Business, The Entrepreneur's Guide to Rediscovering Your Mojo and Enjoying Every Day by Living Your Dream. Now in this show, I want to share with you how you can gain an extra 25 working days per year. And we're going to look at some of the reasons that you get trapped in your business and time is such a difficult commodity for you to manage and tends to be the greatest challenge and frustration that I see when I'm working with lots of business owners like you. And then I'm going to share with you, a way that you can gain those 25 working days a year. I'm going to take you through a process that I use with the business owners that I work with that can really help you get more out of your time. So without further ado, let's crack on and go through it. So as I want to touch on some common challenges that I see with a lot of business owners that I work with. The first one is that, and I'm sure you've heard this many times before, that you should be working on your business and not in it. Now that is a very easy thing to say and actually a very difficult thing to do. You are your business, and that's and that constant challenge of you needing to be there, needing to make it all happen, is just not an easy thing to do at all. And I really do get it. Another thing I see a lot with businesses is that certain team members tend to be very underutilized. They tend to be a lot more talented than actually they're given the scope for, and they are not necessarily doing as much work as they could be doing. The other part is there's actually also, I see a lot of over-reliance of team members where some particularly kind of strong individuals will be doing far too much and taking on too much on their own shoulders. Then the last one, and so it's not the last one, but the other one that I see is really about poor teamwork or collaboration. And one of the things I see a lot in businesses is that there isn't a great teamwork ethic. Yes, they all get on and kind of everything's all hunky-dory in the office type thing, and across the business you wouldn't necessarily think it was a bad place to work. It's not necessarily a bad place to work, but actually what it is they're not necessarily collaborating and working as a team very cohesively and effectively. And they tend to kind of get on very much of what they need to do and not much else. So what I want to share with you then is a couple of reasons really. One is about the traits that you have, and the second one is the habits. So with the traits, you as an entrepreneur, you have two really strong traits that I've seen time and time again. It's something that's shared across, let's say, pretty much every entrepreneur that I've met. The first trait is that you are a control freak. And you tend to want to own stuff and do stuff. This is your baby, and only you can do certain things. The second trait is that of a perfectionist. There is no such thing as perfection. Everything is flawed. The whole world is flawed. Everything you do will never be perfect. There will always be that part of it that will never be quite right. And the more and more that you try to strive to make it perfect, the more frustrated you'll get, and the more that you'll realize that you won't achieve it, and you will never achieve perfection. So as an entrepreneur, you've got these two strong traits, this perfectionism and this control freak. And in essence, they are then working against you when you are trying to grow your business and you're trying to get more done by duplicating yourself in terms of forming a team and putting a team around you. What the smart entrepreneurs figure out is that actually there's the only way that you can grow your business is you have to have that duplication. You have to have other people working your business. You have to let go, and it's not going to be perfect, but it will be prolific. You will get stuff done, and the business will grow. The next part that I want to kind of go through is around these habits. Now, the guys on the podcast won't see this, but we've got a guy here who's a one-man band. He's got a guitar, he's got the drum on the back, he's got the horns, he's got the bells and whistles, the cymbals. He's got everything going on. He is a proper one-man band. Now, as you started your business, this was very much you. And as you've grown it, you have become the person that's had to do all of these things in order to grow it. The challenge with it is that for you to move on and for you to grow your business, you cannot be that same person anymore. Something has to change. You cannot carry on being the one-man band. It will drive you absolutely insane. You won't get past that growth stage. You will get completely stuck in it. You are the one-man band at the moment. You've got to move on and do something differently. Otherwise, you'll always be playing the drums, the guitar, the horn, the cymbals, the bells, you name it. You'll be doing it all at the same time. You've got to let go. Something's got to change. So how can you change? What is the solution? One of the analogies that I use a lot, and I used it in my book, and it kind of takes you through that whole piece about growing a team, is I want you to start thinking and behaving like a conductor. Not a bus conductor, I'm talking about an orchestra conductor here. Now, you'll notice that when a conductor goes out in front, he leads from the front, or she leads from the front. They set the tempo, the pace, of what the ensemble, the song or the tune they're going to play. And this is very much how I see a business owner, and particular leader in their business. You need to become the conductor. You need to set the pace, the tempo, and the composure and everything of that piece of your business. The one thing, of course, that a conductor doesn't do, you never see a conductor all of a sudden halfway through, the piece of music they're doing. You never see them all of a sudden, put the baton down and then go off there and move somebody off a chair and start playing one of the instruments. You never see that happen. They do not do that. They know their place. They have a very well rehearsed team of musicians around them. And that's how they do it. Now, invariably, and as far as all the studying I've ever done on conductors, is that they are all, musicians in their own right, and some of them very, very good musicians in their own right. But it doesn't mean they have to step in and actually take part in playing an instrument. They know how it should all sound. They know how it should all come together, and they're the ones that stand at the front and get the whole thing working and working right. At no point do they stop. And put down the baton and go and do their bit, go and play an instrument. So this is the message for you, is that you need to be that conductor. You need to set the rhythm, the tempo in your business, and do not get sucked in to playing the instruments. Now, the good thing about an orchestra, and of course conductor, is it can scale. A single conductor can have anything from a quintet, a quartet, up to a full-blown orchestra of many, many sections, a choir. It can be a huge business, but there still only is one conductor. It doesn't need any more than that. They set the rhythm, the pace of that music. So I want you to think about that. I want to think about you becoming that conductor for your business. Stop playing the instruments and start leading and setting the tempo of that whole piece of your business. So how can you do that? What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you through 5 steps to gain 25 working days per year. There is an exercise sheet so the first thing you need to do, the first step is to keep a daily exercise sheet. The first exercise. So how can you make that happen? I'm going to take you through now what's called the 5 steps to gain 25 days. This is 25 extra working days per year. If you follow these steps that I'm going to show you, it's one of the exercises I take all the business owners that I work with through, you will gain at least 25 working days. So step 1 is to keep a daily diary of all the activities that you're doing. And now I would suggest that you need to at least fill this sheet out 2 or 3 times a day. An even better discipline is actually pretty much do it hourly. So you set a 60-minute clock or alarm on your watch, on your phone, on your computer, so that it constantly is telling you, reminding you to fill out this sheet. Now here's a sheet that I use. If you don't want to keep a diary, here's a working sheet that you can use. Very simply, it's got a column for the day and time. It's got another bigger column for a brief description of the task, so what it is that you're doing. Another column then for why it was important. Why was it you had to get that done? The amount of time that's taken you to do it. And then we have a final column, which is the you, else, or no. And we'll come back to that final column. I don't want you to fill that out as you're filling the sheet in. Just fill the sheet out first using the first 4 columns, and then we'll come back to that on the review, because that's very, very important. You can add a 5th column if you want. A 5th column which is about how you felt during that time as well, what your energy levels were like during that time as well, because one of the things we want to get to is that you are using those power hours during a day to get your most productive work done as well. Now you may well already be aware of when your power time is. Mine traditionally is I'm very much an early morning person. I get up at silly o'clock a lot of days. And I tend to find my best working time is those kind of, I don't know, from 5 o'clock until 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. That's my real power time of getting some real, deep stuff done. And I then try to have short breaks during the day and kind of trying to work a little bit more on like on a Grand Prix type thing where you have these kind of pit stops. So there's your diary that you can keep. So the second step, I want you to do that for at least 10 days. Ideally, you want to do it for at least 10 days. Even better, that would actually do it for 4 weeks. So you're pretty much doing a full month on it. But you need to do it for at least 10 days, really. 2 working weeks you need to do it for. So on step 2 is then to do the review. And this is where you use that end column. The end column where you've got you, else, or no. And what I want you to do is go through each one of those tasks that you've done. Were you the only person that could do that task? Okay, and you need to be really honest with yourself. Could you show, teach, or get somebody else to do that task? The next one then is else. So if it was only you, then you put you. If it was somebody else, then actually put else, or even put their initials in that box. So could someone else done that task? And the third one then is no. So actually, did you actually need to do that task? In hindsight, now you've done it, did you actually need to do that task? And you'll be amazed the amount of tasks that you do per week. Actually, when on reflection, you go, I done that, it made no difference at all. I didn't actually need to do it at all. And that's kind of important. So you've got you, else, or no. The third step then is to actually share this work and this task with your team. Sit down with your team and say, look, I've done all this. I want to be a better leader, a better manager, and a better owner of this business. I want you guys to take more responsibility. I want to you guys to have more empowerment to do what you need to do. to do your jobs. And invariably, when you do this, you will find a sigh of relief will come across your team. They'll go, finally, he's going to let go. He's going to let me do some of the stuff. All these things we've been trying to do for all this time. And I've said, I can do that. And you wouldn't let me. You're now going to let me to do those tasks. And you'll be amazed the feedback you'll get. Trust me. So I want you to share those tasks with the team. And I want you to empower them to actually do those tasks. I want you to empower them to make mistakes as well. That's really, really important. They are not perfect. They are not going to do this stuff perfect. There's going to be a learning curve that you're going to need to go through. You're going to need to let go of that control and that perfectionism to let other people be empowered to do it. And then the fifth task is to review it. Run this for a month. Keep talking to your team. Keep checking in with them about what they're doing, how they're getting on with the task you're setting. And then review it, and you go back through the exercise. And you should be doing this exercise really probably every quarter. I would urge you to do it. So you're doing it 4 times a year. You should go back and do that whole 25-day exercise, or the keeping the diary again, doing the review, teamwork, and keep going through it. Better never stops. So you're probably wondering where the 25 days comes from. So how do you gain 25 days? Very simple equation. If you were to gain an hour a day, every working day, that's 5 hours a week. You do that for 50 weeks per year. That's 250 working hours that you've gained. Divide that by 10 hours per working day, and then translates into 25 working days. I will, for the rest of the night, I will give you the show notes. In the show notes, I will give you the exercise sheets and the diary sheet. There's an extra page of information as well that I'll give you that will help you do this task as well. So they'll all be in the show notes. You'll be able to download those tasks. It'll also be on our website as well, on Love Your Business TV, on that section there. So you will have all those elements you need. If you, for any more free tools, a guide and advice, there is also betterneverstops.global. And if you go to free business tools, you can download lots of extra stuff on there. You can also, of course, get a free copy of my book, How to Fall Back in Love with Your Business. Again, if you go onto the main website, you will find the links on there of where and how you can get a free book. It is available in paperback, in Audible, and also on Kindle and PDF if you want those versions. So please reach out and we'll get a free copy to you. If you want to catch up on previous episodes, please go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, loveyourbusiness.tv or Google Podcasts, and that's where you'll get all our podcasts. If you want to watch the videos again, if you go onto YouTube or Facebook, and you can catch up on all our previous shows as well. And when you do, every time that you watch or you listen to one of our podcasts or one of our shows, we then use that good to go and inspire ambitious people to live extraordinary lives. That's my vision and my mission in life, is to use all that good. And we're using the B1G1 platform. So far this year, we have enabled 676 literacy and business days to be trained for entrepreneurial ladies in Uganda. So I really thank you for that. That's on behalf of them and from me. Everything that you do, when you do good for me, I do good somewhere else in the world. And that's what we do. We can make a difference. We can make a difference in this world, and we are a business for good. If you want to know more about how your business can be a business for good, please reach out to me again as well. I'll be only too willing to help you make that happen in your business. So as always, stay safe. Thank you very, very much for listening or watching Love Your Business TV. I have been Adrian Peck. And remember, better never stops.
Love Your Business TV. Thank you. Join us next week and don't forget to subscribe.